Frequent Miler on the Air starts now. Today's main event, Chase battles for the middle.
But battling for mediocrity just doesn't sound exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that Chase would put it that way, that they're battling for mediocrity. But what we're talking about is there are ultra premium credit cards out there that are the, very, very expensive, over $400 cards. Then there's the low end cards that are under $100. And then there's the stuff in the middle. And Chase seems to be planting their flag and saying, this is where
which is funny because they're like the last ones to come to that party to begin with, basically. And well, maybe not the last. We'll talk more about it.
Certainly Amex has been sitting in the middle for a while now and has, I think, a very strong presence in the middle. So Chase has some fighting to do, but we'll discuss that. First, giant mailbag time. So this is giant mail in every sense of the word. I printed it out in giant font so that I could read it. But it's also giant in that there's a lot of words here.
Is it more than one page?
But yeah, this came through on our website, our contact us form. This came from Jane. And I wanted to read this here because it's sort of a good commercial for our show and our website, but it's not in our commercials. So this is nice. We're adding commercials just for today. Giant mailbag time, our ad for ourselves. Thank you, Jane. Jane says, hi, Greg and Nick. Just a short note to say that I applied and was approved for the Chase Sapphire Preferred 100K offer through your link. I applied through your link partly because of the value I've gotten from your blog and podcast, and partly because you explained how it wasn't the indisputable best credit card offer available. So as an aside, she said she applied because we told her it wasn't the best offer.
Interesting choice, Jane.
After months of, in parentheses, she says obsessively, reading about points and miles, one can discern which blogs give the most helpful, least biased information to the readers. When the Amex Resi offer is best, you recommend it. When the highest Chase offer is only in branch, you remind us. When the best Delta offer is with a phantom booking, you let us know. After all the years in this space and all those affiliate links and banking arrangements, you somehow remain true to your readers' best interests. That integrity does not go unnoticed. So I just wanted to thank you for that and to say that I think you're the indisputable best points and miles blog in the country. Well, you're tied with Dr. Credit. But let's not ruin the hyperbole. I look forward to your podcasts, your posts, and your awful dad jokes for many years to come. Cheers.
Well, thank you very much, Jane. That's very, very kind words. Very kind words, except for the part about Greg's dad jokes. That was really mean. But
Greg's dad jokes. You're developing your own. You've got 2 kids now at home.
I do. And I definitely have some of the dad jokes for sure. So thank you very much though, Jane. I appreciate that. And that's definitely something that I think is important to us. So obviously, I think if you read and listen, that's maintaining that kind of reputation matters more than a couple of credit card signups.
For sure. All right. So what do we have
so
next?
Then what speaking of the Amex Resi offer and Amex, what crazy thing did American Express do this week, Greg?
Yeah. So Amex, that their super high-end platinum cards recently became higher end they raised the annual fee from $550 to $695. And to make up for it, they added a whole bunch of coupons. they basically said,
the Amex coupon book.
You'll get rebates for this, that, and the other thing. And what they did crazy this week is they added 2 more coupons. And the one that I want to talk about is you now get a rebate for signing up for a monthly subscription to Walmart Plus.
What?
Walmart Plus. Does that say ultra premium to you or what?
Nothing says ultra premium like scan and go at Walmart, right? Free shipping.
Yeah,
free shipping.
For years, Amex has cultivated this impression of being the card that's like the high end, like you step out of a limo and you hand someone your platinum card, but now you're saying hi to the Walmart greeter and whipping out your platinum card. So I don't get it. What
the marketing angle there is what doesn't make any sense to me either. I totally agree, because listen, I shop at Walmart, so I'm a Walmart shopper, so I'm not anti Walmart. And actually, I kind of like Walmart Plus. I got it for free because we wrote about deals to stack and actually made a little bit of money on the membership. Yeah, and I like being able to walk in and scan stuff and then just go to the self-checkout and not scan stuff again. I scan it as I put it in my cart, walk to the self-checkout, scan the barcode, and I walk out and I'm done. I don't have to put everything back on the, on the register again. So I kind of like that, but that is not.
For those shopping online, it also gives you free shipping. It's a lot like Amazon Prime in that way.
It does.
So it's handy if you shop at Walmart or at walmart.com.
It can be, although I don't know if you shop at walmart.com, it's kind of a pain because they have so many third-party sellers that finding something that's actually qualified for the free shipping can be kind of a pain depending on what you're looking for. So I don't find that benefit as good as I would like to, but I'm sure other people find it super easy to use. At any rate, I don't associate my trips to Walmart with the Amex Platinum card. Like that's the part that totally baffles me. I just don't get it. The people who are paying $700 a year and value an Equinox credit every month are probably not the average Walmart shopper, right?
Right. No, I mean, so, I get Amex's general approach to all this. What they're doing is they're partnering with all these sponsors basically and saying, you know what, we'll market your product to our high-end customers, but you have to pay for it basically. So like these other things like SoulCycle and Equinox and all that, I'm sure Equinox is paying for those rebates that Amex is offering because they're getting all kinds of customers, right? So it just makes sense. Sure. But it's just so when Walmart approached Amex about this, or God forbid, Amex approached Walmart about this, I mean, somebody should have taken a step back and said, is this the image that we want to convey? I mean, come on. I don't get it.
It's weird. It's weird. Though on the flip side, I say all that, and I don't want somebody from Amex to listen in and be like, okay, you know what, guys, we're only going to offer Equinox and SoulCycle type stuff from here on out, because that's not what I want either. Like, this is something I'll actually use. So I'm complaining about it, not complaining about it. I'm criticizing it because it seems like a really weird marketing decision. If you were going to do that, put it on like the everyday preferred or some sort of a card that, I don't know, it makes sense with.
Right.
But on the flip side, I would rather they continue to add those. If it doesn't cost Amex anything and it gives me a benefit, hey, what do I care? I don't care about their brand image.
It's just crazy from a business point of view, I think.
From a business point of view, it is kind of crazy. But from a customer point of view, whatever. I don't care about their brand image. Keep giving me credits, Amex. Keep giving me credits.
Right. I mean, if you could use it, why not? And
why not?
And I'm betting that it'll be an opportunity to earn more money because there will be other like portal deals and things for signing up for Walmart Plus, where now you could sign up and basically get it for free because of the platinum credits and still get whatever the portal deal is, or if Walmart Plus is offering something directly, like some kind of, free
bottle
device
of soda
or something.
Yeah. Sam's Choice.
Free greeting when you come in the door.
Right. Maybe. But I mean, that's a great point. If you don't yet have Walmart Plus, I would totally wait, because I bet as we get into the holiday sale season here, just in the next few weeks, there will be a shopping portal promo or something to entice you to sign up for Walmart Plus. So if you're not signed up yet, I'd hold off a few weeks.
Good point.
And then use your platinum, credit to take care of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually happy about it. It just seems nuts. I don't get it, but exactly. Whatever. Keep it coming, Amex. Keep it coming. All right. So then we should talk next about Mattress running the numbers. And so this week's Mattress running the numbers, we have a week link in the Marriott Week of Wonders.
Yes.
So
well said.
What is weekly wonderful?
Yeah. So Marriott is advertising for a very short time 33% off of award redemptions. So you use points.
That sounds great, Craig.
It sounds great. Yeah. Up to 33%. You need to book your hotel in the next 3 minutes or so. And you have to stay before the end of October.
What?
Not October next year, October this year, which, we're recording this October 7th. So you've got 3 weeks.
Who's going somewhere in October?
Before we publish.
It's October. Who's going anywhere in October? I mean, like Columbus Day. Okay, maybe,
right.
I guess. People have a long weekend, maybe. But for the most part, who's got the time off to go anywhere in October?
I have a bunch of travel planned in January. And when I saw the headline of this offer, I was like, great, I'm going to, rebook all my plans, maybe even move some of my Hyatt stays to Marriott in order to take advantage of this deal. But no,
no, not so much.
I'd have to move my whole trip to October, and that's not happening.
I have more travel in October than any other month of 2021, and looking that will be the case for the rest of this year. So it's actually the month where I would be most likely to use this.
Yeah.
And this morning I searched a couple of different cities, places where I need to stay in the coming weeks. And I haven't yet found a hotel that's at off-peak price. So I'm sure they're out there.
Wow, that's weird.
But those 4,000, I mean, it only represents about half the portfolio. So, I mean, it's probably not that surprising, because I imagine the half of the portfolio that's on sale in October for 33% off is wherever you don't want to go in October. That's my bet. So,
and let's be clear, the way they're doing the up to 33% off is they're taking properties that are normally peak or standard award priced and making them off peak for the next 10 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever I said before.
Right. And so the only one that's actually 33% off, I think anyway, is category 1. The standard price is 7,500. So off peak would be 5,000. So 2,500 points off. After that, I think all the rest of them are less than 33%. So when it says up to 33%, it's like 33% if you book one of the 9 category 1 properties in the United States and they happen to be part of the 4,000 that are on sale. So I don't even know if all 9 of them are 5,000 points a night right now.
So the one mattress running aspect to this that I think is worth mentioning is if you're close to Marriott Platinum status, which a lot of people are, because of the way they rolled over nights from the year before and in a weird way. If you are close to it and you don't have any Marriott stays planned, you might want to look for those category 1 Marriott, see if you can book some for 5,000 points a night for 5 nights. Hopefully, if you're exactly 5 nights away, because you'll get the 5th night free. So it'll be 20,000 points for 5 nights. And that's not a bad deal to get 5 elite nights credit. You'd have to actually check into the hotel to get that credit, but that might be worth considing.
That's a great point. That's great. And that's something I should look to do, actually, because I'm in the position where I'm going to be close to titanium, but I don't know if I'm going to quite reach titanium requalifying. So
are they rolling over our status?
Well, they probably are, but you get another choice benefit. So you get potentially a 40K night. So if I knew that 5 nights would make the difference, then it'd be worth paying. To me, it'd be worth paying 20K.
You had this
for a 40K
exact same
cert.
situation last year, didn't you?
I
did. You were
did.
trying to decide should I go the extra night using a deal like this in order to get the choice benefit, and you were going to pick the 40K cert, right? The free night cert.
Yes.
And so the question really came down to, is it worth spending 20,000 points for a 40K cert? And that's actually a tough question, because it depends if you know you're going to use it well or not.
Right. And this year, because so many of us are sitting on so many free night certificates, it feels like a bad idea. But most of those free night certificates expire in the coming months, and whether or not any of them will get extended, blah, 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 I don't know yet. And there are lots of situations. I mean, we've talked recently about how you found that 40K nights were, worth more than the 50K nights, so to speak, in your searches when you figured out what Marriott points are worth in certificates. Now, we valued the 50K certs higher because they can book 40K nights. But the conclusion we came to was that a lot of category 5, 35,000 point per night properties are peak priced a lot of the time at 40,000 points. And that's when they're particularly good value. So 40K certs are actually, I think, a pretty valuable thing to have. Yeah. So the problem is that last year I did that like the last week of December. I literally checked out on New Year's Eve, I think. This time I would have to book a 5-night stay in October and hope that that's like those 5 nights are what makes the difference to get me to the extra 40K cert, right? So that's a little trickier, because I don't know for sure how many nights I'm going to stay the rest of the year.
Right. That is tricky. Yeah.
Tricky Marriott. Nice underhanded stuff.
Let us know next week's show what you decided to do.
We'll see. All right. So then that brings us to the main event.
Ooh, main event time. Yeah. So here's the thing. Chase has been repeatedly coming out with these mid-market cards in the last few years. The most recent ones, we just learned about. The Hyatt Business Card just came out, $199 per year. Before that, though, not long before that, the United Quest card came out, and that was help me now, $250.
$250. Yep.
And let's see. Before that, the Southwest cards. They have two mid-market cards, right? The business card with performance business card.
Performance business. That's right. $199. Yep. And the Southwest Priority card on the consumer side, $149.
Right.
Great value, by the way.
So we're defining, just by the way, we're defining mid-market as like above $100, less than 400, that kind of range. That's not a area that Chase previously had a lot of cards in, any cards in that I can remember.
They didn't show any interest in it. It didn't seem like an area where they were interested in competing, because they just kind of let Amex have that and didn't bother with any of their, even though they came out with new features on Ultimate Rewards cards, they didn't even try to come out with a mid-tier Ultimate Rewards card.
Right. Amex, meanwhile, has one of our favorite cards, the Amex Gold card, sitting there at $250 a year. They also have the Delta Platinum cards, which are for Delta flyers, a nice value as a mid market card between the Reserve at the high end and the Gold at the low end. They've got their Plum card at $250. They've got the Business Gold at $295. They have quite a large presence in that mid market.
They got the Green card that's $150.
Yep.
So they have quite a few in that range.
Right. And but now Chase is like, that's the market we want to be in, which is interesting because not long ago we talked about how Amex seemed to be clearly like making a play for the upper end, right? With their what they're doing with the platinum cards, with what they appear to be on the brink of doing with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. We've talked about rumors that that's going to go up to like $650 and so on. And we've also talked about how Citi gone completely the other way. What they said is, forget perks. We're not going to supply any perks to anyone for any reason. But what we're going to do is we are going to dominate the low end of the market with the most point earnings per dollar of like any suite of cards ever. I mean, they really hit I think, amazing sweet spot for those who are just out for bonus points on spend, right? They've got their,
for sure. Yeah.
They've got their fee-free double cash, 2 points per dollar everywhere. And those points can be cashed out or turned into thank you rewards points. They've got the Citi
custom
Premier
cash. Oh, before I'm sorry, the custom cash that's got the rotating 5x that rotates based on the category you spend the most in. So $500 a month, you can earn 5x. Just kind of dedicate that as the dining card or the grocery card or whatever it might be that works for you, and get your 5x on $500 a month. Super simple.
Exactly.
No fee on that card, of course.
No fee. They have amazing no fee collection. The Rewards Plus, which gives you, among other things, a 10% rebate on points redeemed. And then in the not free but low end market, the Premier card, which they revised. It's a $95 card. They revised to give it 3x for a whole slew of categories, including grocery and gas and more.
Dining and
it's a whole slew of things. And it provides also the ability to transfer points to airline partners. So I think they just made a very intentional play for that bottom market. And I have this memory of us talking about Chase seemed to be somewhere like not really committed to one way or the other. But now I feel like it's emerging what their intent is.
So, I mean, do you think that's the case? Do you think they're going after, it's an interesting question, because I was at the event the other day where they, launched the new Hyatt card, and somebody did ask them about what their thought process was with the $199 price point. And basically, to summarize what Chase said between the lines was they said that they think business people are going to be willing to spend $200. Business people that are interested in Hyatt are going to be willing to spend $200. I mean, of course, they ran it's got the Hyatt credit, twice the $50, whatever. I mean, they tried to make it sound like the card was valuable, but essentially they said they think that business owners will pay for it.
Mhm.
And the interesting thing is that I think that when you look at a card like the Amex Gold card, for instance, the $250 fee comes with benefits like, the $120 a year potentially in Grubhub credit, and now $120 a year potentially in Uber Eats credit, and it comes with a grocery bonus. That to me is more like an everyman card, so to speak. Like that's a card that could appeal to anybody. It doesn't have to be somebody who's a big spender, low spender, high income, low.
Great.
It's like a very mid tier for sure. Like, I mean, it fits the label. The Hyatt business card does not fit the mid tier label because you got to spend a lot of money on the card to make it worth having.
That's true. That's true.
Like a lot. You got to spend like 50,000 or more, and even then, it's like.
Even then, it's like it's a toss up whether it's better than their personal card, which has only a $95 fee. Yeah.
Right. So that to me was an odd choice, because if you're going to go after the market that's spending that heavy, then give them an ultra premium of some sort. Or if you just want to pull in the business customers that are going to spend that heavy, why try and juice them for another $100? I mean, the $99 would probably be enough if they're counting on most people who get the card to spend $50,000 or $100,000 or more per year on the card. It was a weird choice to me.
Yeah, I found it weird too, especially because I feel like there are other attempts at mid-market cards provide real value. They're compelling cards, right? Like, so you look at the United Quest card, which comes with a $125 United credit and 2 $5K award rebates per year. I mean, those things, like, plus, free bags and various other things. And those things add up to where it's like, if you're a United flyer, you'll look at that $250, say, I'll easily get that much value. So why not? Why not get that card and keep it? And I think you could make the same argument with the Southwest cards. It's hard to make that argument with the Hyatt card.
Very hard to make that argument with the Hyatt card. It's such a weird pick. And, like, I see where they were coming from a business standpoint. I mean, the card makes sense for Chase in the sense that it's not got very expensive benefits to offer, and it probably does draw in, I think, those people who have a legitimate business that spends a lot of money rather than those people that buy a lot of gift cards at Staples. I think that's, and I think they're like drawing their line in the sand and saying, we want the people who are spending $50,000 or $100,000 a quarter or a month or something like that on a legitimate business. We don't really care if you want to buy a lot of gift cards. But we're not like trying to get you, right? Like that's not who they're after.
Right.
And so I think that probably that seemed disappointing for a lot of readers. But like I said, I get where Chase is coming from a business standpoint. However, like, what a niche within a niche within a niche that they're trying to capture here, right?
Really? Yeah. Yeah. It just doesn't make. It's sort of like the Walmart thing. Like, it doesn't seem to make business sense from my perspective. But
me either, and I love Hyatt, and I know a lot of people who love Hyatt, a lot of business travelers who love Hyatt.
Yeah.
But I think of the business owners I know who are spending that kind of money regularly, and most of them are working a lot. They're not traveling to Hyatts all that often. They're working hard because they have that kind of business. One of the examples that the Chase exec gave me was someone who owns a landscaping business who maybe spends a lot on gas one quarter and a lot on advertising another quarter. And I happen to have a few friends who own landscaping businesses. And they're not going to Hyatts. They're mowing lawns when it's time to mow lawns, and then they're hanging out and relaxing at home in the wintertime. They're not. Hyatt is not their priority. Now, obviously, I don't know every landscaper on earth, and maybe some of them love Hyatt, but it just seemed like an odd market to go after.
Yeah, I mean, let's be even more specific. Like, even if you love Hyatt, there's no place. I'm going to argue there's no place for this card in your wallet, even your business wallet, because there are better Chase Ultimate Rewards cards where you can transfer the points to Hyatt. The only reason it deserves a place in your wallet is if you're committed to spending your way to top tier Hyatt status. That's the only reason.
Yeah, really, that is it. And that to me seemed, again, just kind of weird that that's what they're going after, because I feel like, we know that globalist status is the best hotel elite status out there. And probably a lot of people listening have heard us say that.
Sure.
So if you don't know it for yourself, you know that that's an opinion that's widely held. But you're counting on how many business owners that know that Hyatt Globalist status even exists. Like let's go back to a time before I started reading blogs about miles and points. I didn't even know there was a club lounge in the hotel. Forget about that. There was a status that would get me free access to it.
Like, I remember checking into a hotel with another guy from my company, and they handed him like a gift bag full of stuff, and I was like, wait, why did he get that and I didn't? And so I asked him about it. That's when I first learned about hotel elite status. I was like, wow, there's such a thing.
Yeah, similar situation. I was at a hotel with a friend and he had club lounge access, and so he brought me in, and I was like, what's this? I didn't know this floor was here. So so I have to imagine that we're not the oddballs there, that there are probably plenty of small business owners out there that have no idea what globalist status is or why it would matter. And so you're trying to capture those few folks out there who have a business that are spending a lot of money, who know that Hyatt elite status is worth it, who are going to put enough spend on the card and pay attention to it in order to earn elite status, because you got to be tracking and following how much you're spending and how many nights you have and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it seems very niche to me.
Yes, I agree.
Not terrible.
It'll be interesting to see if we're right. It means that this card probably won't do very well. Like, probably they'll get a lot of signups for the bonus, but people are going to cancel after a year.
I can imagine a lot will.
That's my guess.
But so curious here, you pointed out, and this didn't even dawn on me initially, but you pointed out that obviously Chase has a bunch of these now, because they got the Southwest cards like this, the United card, the Hyatt card, but they're all co-branded. Yes. So my first question is it Chase pushing this middle tier $200+ card or $200-ish card, or is it the co-brands? Is it the partners that are pushing for something in that tier? Who do you think is like leading the charge there?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's possible that what's happening is Chase might be discouraging them from going after the ultra high end because they're protecting their Sapphire Reserve cards market, or basically acknowledging that a co-brand would have to do a tremendous amount, and by I mean give the customer a tremendous amount of benefit for the customer to see the Sapphire, see this new card as better than the Sapphire Reserve, right? And so that there might be some of that going on, is my guess. I'm just kind of
that's not a bad guess, because I did talk to both a representative from Chase and one from Hyatt separately and have conversations about, are there going to be additional cards in the now World of Hyatt card family? And the responses that I got from both sides, now that you say that, feels a little bit more like that. I mean, without getting into all the details, it feels a little bit more, and I didn't get any indication that anything was coming. And in fact, I think I got the opposite. I think I more so got the indication that there isn't going to be a luxury card coming, at least anytime soon. But it would kind of line up with that guess that maybe it was Chase that was less interested in Hyatt, that was more interested in that. That wouldn't surprise me.
So
let's put it that way.
So let's talk about Chase's future. If this is a trend, right? You mentioned how like we don't see any, it's all co-branded cards that so far. So a couple questions. One is, do we expect to see a ultimate rewards card, so not a co-branded card, in that middle market? What do you think?
Do we expect to? No, I don't expect to. We should. Hello, Chase. Come on. Why not? Why not throw in a card that has a grocery bonus in that mid-tier category? I mean, Citi's got the grocery bonus. Amex has a grocery bonus. Where you at here? I mean, come on. That's a category that matters to people right now, I think. And I think that you could charge more for it. Amex has clearly shown that will fly. So I would like to see that. I also would like to see some additional benefits on some of these cards. I'm not terribly impressed with the suite of benefits on either the $95 cards or the Sapphire Reserve at this point. Now that Amex has added so many, even if we're going to joke about Walmart Plus being an odd fit for Amex, the truth is that Amex continues to add more and more value, and they keep adding more and more things. And while I didn't care about the New York Times digital subscription, or, I don't know, what is it, Peacock or
Peacock
Ostrich
streaming
or whatever.
TV.
I don't know what whatever that stuff is. That stuff didn't matter to me, but surely it matters to some card holders, and they keep adding things like that. What has Chase done for you lately? What have you done for me lately, Chase? What have you done for me?
Right. I think they gave you, if you're a Sapphire Preferred holder, like $50 towards a prepaid hotel or something.
Hotel. Yeah. Thanks. Real generously there, Chase. Yeah, they gave that, and they added what, like 10x on Peloton or something, and the temporary Peloton
Reserve,
credit on the Sapphire Reserve.
You can earn 10x booking those prepaid hotels if you're paying for them as opposed to redeeming points. So there are some things they added, but I agree, it's not, they didn't go as far, nearly as far as Amex has with those kind of credits.
And they haven't with the co-branded cards. Apart from I think the Southwest Priority card is particularly good. Apart from the Southwest Priority card, though, even these mid-tiers, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned the $125 United credit on the Quest card, but wasn't there a hoop you had to jump through in order to get that? Was that automatic?
I don't know.
I feel like there was some sort of a hoop. I'll have to check it out now. But at any rate, I don't feel like they were super compelling. It wasn't like oh yeah, you're going to pay $250 a year and get $250 back. So maybe the Quest is like that, and I feel like the Priority, but less than not at all on the Hyatt business, and the Hyatt,
not even close,
and the Southwest business isn't as good either. So I don't know. Is Chase just not really interested? Do they just want the money and they're not interested in actually competing? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm a little confused.
I mean, I think with those mid-tier ones, they're, in my opinion, except for the Hyatt card, they're offering enough back so that if you fly that airline a lot and you value things like the free check bags or whatever the perks are that you normally get with these airline cards, you're getting enough back to say, okay, well, I'm getting basically the value of the annual fee back, plus I'm getting these standard perks that go along with having the card for the airline that I, frequently travel on. So I think that's a good trade-off. And I think that's similar to what Amex and Delta did with their Platinum card. They say, okay, for $250, you get all those standard things, the free check bag and the, priority boarding and blah, blah. But you also get a companion ticket each year. And so you could easily convince yourself that booking one round trip with a companion is worth, at least the $250. And so that's your way of saying, I get to have my airline card, my free check bags and all that essentially for free because I'm getting a rebate worth the annual fee. And I think Chase has done that for most of those cards, except for the Hyatt card. That said, so if there's a trend here in that way with Chase, the co-branded cards going mid-market, what's next? I have a prediction. I was looking at their portfolio. There's space for more. Like IHG doesn't have a mid-market. Mm-hmm. I'm forgetting now what the other ones are, but like the British Airways and Iberia and all those don't have a mid-market. But I don't see either of those being next. What I think is next, Aeroplan. They should be coming out with a Aeroplan card any moment now, and look for a mid-market card.
Very good. Yeah. I totally agree with you. But what about on the Ultimate Rewards side? Do you see them coming out with a mid-market Ultimate Rewards card?
I don't see it. I think that they had the opportunity for many years to do it. Instead, they've doubled down on the cards they already have by adding new features and things that were actually very positive and surprising, like the Freedom cards getting 3x for dining and drugstore. That, in my mind, refreshed that Freedom brand, and they've continued to push hard to sell the ink business cards that exist now, and they're very strong cards in my opinion. So I don't think, I would love to see one, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I would love to see one too. I'm disappointed that they haven't made an effort there, and I find it curious that they haven't made an effort with their own cards, but have with these co-branded cards. But like you said, there's still room for more, and maybe that'll be intriguing. I don't know. What about a Marriott mid-tier? Do you think we'll ever see a Marriott mid-tier card? Because I mean, you got Amex and Chase both. I mean, Amex obviously is interested in mid-tier cards, but do they both get one? Does one get one or the other?
Right,
is there something
right.
to balance it out?
I mean, we talked about recently how so Chase and Amex both carry Marriott cards, and they had to basically make a deal, a three-way deal between them and Marriott, that like Amex would have the ultra premium card, and Chase and the ultra premium and the business card, and Chase would have the sort of consumer regular card, and if, as you're sort of suggesting, if there appeared a mid-market one, how would they decide? Maybe one of them would get a business card and the other one would get a personal card, I guess, is one way they could do it at the mid-market. But unless they introduce both, it seems unlikely that they could come to a deal on that.
Yeah. That's very, very interesting. And by the way, I was incorrect before when I said there was a hoop to jump through. I thought for the $125 credit, the $125 credit on the United Quest card, you absolutely were right about how that works. It's the 5,000 mile rebates that I had in mind have a hoop in the sense that you only get those credits after anniversary. So, so you have to pay for another year in order to get the credits, but still with between the $125 and those two things, it does, like you said, balance out. And that's been the thing. And I think that's where the disappointment is with the Hyatt card, that most of these other $250 cards, I guess, do kind of give you enough value back that you at least feel like you're paying about the same as a regular credit card, or that you're coming out as a wash. And I don't feel that way at all on the new Hyatt business card. You're just paying to be able to spend to elite status.
Yeah. I mean, they have this thing, the Hyatt business card has this thing where if you spend $50,000 in a calendar year, you get 10% back on your award stays for the rest of that calendar year, up to $20,000 max. Which
20,000 points back.
20,000
points back. Yeah.
Thank you. Up to 20,000 points max. Up to 200,000 points spent, which equals 20,000 points back. And that's kind of crazy. Like, I can't think of any other benefit that's like that, where they're encouraging lots of spend fast, because you can't, if you finish that spend end of December, you're out of luck. You can't use it. If you have a stay that spans, goes from December to January 1st, you can't use it. Because it's when you check out that you get the benefit, and you haven't earned that benefit for the next calendar year yet. That, I think that was a big mistake on their part, because that $20K a year rebate, if you could have counted on that, that would have, I think that would have more than paid for the card for a lot of people. But as it's done right now, it just is a nonsensical, weird thing to try to convince people to spend really fast in the beginning of the year and then stop spending on it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that their perspective, again, I don't think that they were looking for customers who are going to take 11 months to spend $50,000. They're looking for people who are going to be spending that early in the year. But even still, even if you spend it in the first few months of the year, you're counting on having to redeem 200,000 points for a stay that's completed within the next 8 or 9 months. And we all know plans change. I mean, my goodness, if we've learned anything over the last year or two, it's I don't know if my vacation 6 months from now is set in stone. So, I think it's hard to count on getting those points back because of the way that is. You're totally right. But like I said, Chase is clearly going after people who are going to spend that 50,000 in the first couple of billing cycles, or, certainly within the first half of the year. And in fact, in both the press release and at the event, they pumped up the fact that you could earn globalist status by spending just $60,000 between now and December 31st. So, they're talking about $60,000 spend in like 10-ish weeks or so, being just 60,000 in the next 10 weeks.
And to be clear, the reason you get globalist is because they, with that spend, is they halved the requirement this year for globalist status. So this year you only need 30 nights. Normally you need 60 to get to their top tier elite status. And the card sort of gives you half. So if you're spending 60,000, you're getting 30 elite nights out of that. So sort of think of it as how many 10,000s did you spend? And anyway, you could do the math, but you get 5 per 10,000 spent.
Right, exactly. So you could, yes, manufacture globalist status. But I thought it was interesting that they pumped that, the amount of spend in the amount of time between now and the end of the year seemed like an odd thing to pump. And then the fact that they were advertising it as though, okay, you have zero loyalty to Hyatt so far because you don't have any nights so far.
Right.
You can get yourself top tier status with $60,000 spent. You would think that the example they would give is somebody who has some nights in Hyatt already, because you already like Hyatt if you're going after the Hyatt business card. I don't know. It was all kind of weird.
Right. And if you complete that 50K of that 60K spend before the end of the year, then you'll get
a week of
rebate which you could spend on December 29th.
Right. Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, and in fact, by the way, they did tell me what, because the first question I asked was whether there was exactly what I asked, word for word. First question of the press event was, is there a cap on the 10% rebate, and how does it work? If you reach $50,000 spent in November and your award stays until the following March, will you get the rebate? And so the cap didn't get mentioned until the next day we found out about the cap.
Right.
But the way that it was explained was, no, you would not get the rebate, because you only get the rebate on stays completed in the same calendar year that you spend 50,000. So they said, so make sure you hurry up and spend 50,000 at the beginning of the next year so you can get your rebate on the March stay. So they clearly are pushing it.
There you go.
All right. So,
all right. I think it's post roast time.
I think to post roast. So I'm sure you don't have anything for post roast.
Contraire.
He's prepared this week.
I'm prepared. Okay. I'm prepared. Sort of prepared. I have a pre-post roast.
Pre-post roast. You're roasting something I haven't even posted yet.
No, that's not what it means. It'll all come clear to you soon. Right. Don't worry.
I'm waiting.
So you published a post about Capital One moving their transfers to 1-to-1. So previously they had some transfer partners where you could transfer Capital One miles in quotes to airline miles 1-to-1. They had others that were one and I don't know, two to 1.5, and then others that were 2-to-1.
Yeah.
And so big news this week. They moved almost all of them to 1-to-1, which is fantastic. That's not what I'm roasting you about. Go back in time a little bit, and Capital One reached out to us and said, we have this news for you that will be embargoed until Thursday morning. Do you accept the embargo? And Nick said, yes, send it to us. Send us the information. This is routine. We do this all the time. Yeah. They send us information. In return for us promising not to publish until the go ahead.
And typically that happens just a few days in advance. We don't usually know things like far in advance when it happens. Just
exactly.
I don't want people to think that we always know that 2 months from now this is going to change. No, we don't. It's not.
That's actually a really good point. I think a lot of people sort of assume that we're in the know of things, and we're not.
And it's usually like, okay, tomorrow this is going to come out. Would you like to find out today?
Right. Okay. So what Nick should have said instead of yes is, we'll agree to your conditions if you give Greg his Capital One miles back, because you closed down his account for no reason whatsoever, took all his points away, and only gave him 0.5 cent per point value. What's with that? We're not going to play ball with you until you make this right. That's what Nick.
And instead I emailed Greg and I said, they're just trolling you now.
You did. And they are. They're like, we're going to keep making the program better and better because Greg cannot play in this game.
Rub Greg's nose in it.
Yeah.
You know what, Greg? We're going to make it better, and we're going to tell you about it before we do. So it's yeah. I'm glad you brought up Capital One though, because I meant to make this point. I forgot about it. That when we talked about how Citi has gone after like the low end of the market, so to speak, I feel like Capital One is starting to, make some headway there and steal Citi's low end.
Yeah.
And so, because now the only airline that's not 1-to-1 is EVA. It's 2-to-1.5 still. And Le Club Accor, the hotel partner, is still 2 Capital One miles to 1 Le Club Accor point, because those points are worth like 2.2 cents each or something weird like that. So it's a revenue-based program. Gary Leff made a great point, actually, I think, when he said that they should probably just get rid of those 2 partners, because nobody really probably cares about them anyway. And it would make the program much simpler to just say it's all 1-to-1. And I hate to tell them to get rid of partners, but that made sense to me. When I read that sentence, I was like, yeah, that would make it a lot easier, because then I could just be like, oh, they're all 1-to-1, rather than being like, well, most of them are 1-to-1 except these 2 that you're probably not going to use.
Yeah. Well, I will say that the Accor one is kind of interesting in that it's the one place where, for a revenue stay, like a cash rate stay, you can use your Capital One points at slightly better than 1 cent per point to pay for that stay. And that's if you're staying in a core property, which I think includes Fairmont hotels. Then when you're checking out, you could use like I don't know, you get like a gift card or something to pay with. But the point is, it's €2 per point value, or because of the transfer ratio, that's like €1 cent, not euros, euro cents, per Capital One mile, it works out to. And because euro cents are worth more than US cents, you're getting slightly better value. It's more of a wonky, nerdy thing than anything that, you're right. I doubt anyone has actually done it.
Right. And that's the thing, it's like, who's actually going to use that? I mean, I've looked a couple times now, but then I've also been kind of like, I don't know. I haven't stayed at these places. Am I going to even like it? And I'm going to transfer these points. And I got to figure out this complicated system. So if I feel that way about it, goodness knows the average Capital One card holder is not more confident, probably. I'm sure there's exceptions out there. There are several people out there right now saying, oh my goodness, you've been ignoring this program. We got that email just recently where somebody was like, why do you ignore Accor Live Limitless? This is such a good program, blah, blah, blah. And I don't have a good answer. Maybe I should dig into it more deeply. But at any rate, all of that said, let me get back to my point. And my point was that Capital One now has a $95 card that earns 2 true airline miles per dollar with a unique set of transfer partners that is better than Citi's transfer partners. And so you have a good set of partners, 2 miles per dollar with the Venture or the Spark miles, and then the cash back cards that earn 4% in some categories. You can transfer that cash back to your Venture card and use them as miles, as 4 miles per dollar. So really, I mean, for a cheap end card system, Capital One would be a great system if you could apply and know that they're not going to take all your points away and redeem them all for half a cent each. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. So
well, and also that you could get approved. It's not that easy for a lot of us to get approved as well, which at least until recently was different with Citi, but Citi's gotten harder too. So who knows? Right. But yes, you have a good point. They're coming on strong on that low end transferable points market. Absolutely,
they are. And there's obviously been rumors that they'd come out with a luxury card. And let me be clear, like I said before, we don't know those kind of things far in advance. So I am not speaking from any kind of inside knowledge here. But it would make sense to me that if they're going to open these airline lounges, or these airport lounges rather, and they've been kind of weird about talking about pricing or access, I kind of feel like there's got to be a luxury card coming, right? Because that's got to be what the difference is going to be in terms of access to the lounge. That maybe the ultra premium card holders will get free access or a certain number of times or a certain discount, and people with a Venture card will get a different deal, is my thought. Otherwise, they would just have said when it's going to be, I would think. So I feel like there's a decent chance that a luxury card is coming, or maybe it'll be mid-market. We'll see.
Yes, we'll see. All right.
So speaking of pre-post roast, funny enough, I have a pre-post roast too, because this week we got the World of Hyatt business card information, like literally a couple of hours before the media event that I went to. And so I woke up early in the morning to this email, kind of all blurry eyed, kind of shaking out the cobwebs. And I looked at it and I was like, wow, this kind of looks like garbage. And I basically emailed you saying that. And in your email back, you said this could be very nice for big spenders who value globalist status and redeem lots of Hyatt points. But then a day later, you write a post, or 2 days later, saying that this is really disappointing. Which is it, Greg? Is it great for people who want globalist status, or is it disappointing?
It is mostly disappointing, and the difference is that our early morning information was wrong. We thought the rebate on we thought the 10% rebate that you could spend your way up to was uncapped, and so I thought, well, for people spending big to earn Hyatt elite status anyway, then if they redeem lots of points, for which they'll have because they did all that spend, if they redeem lots of points, they could do really well with it. But yeah, was not to be. So it's still a good card for those who are going to spend that much anyway towards Hyatt status. But if you're not planning to do that, I don't see this for anybody.
Yeah. Only in combo. I think only in combo with the personal card, and not in place of the personal card, and not instead of having an Ink Cash or an Ink Business Preferred or whatever else. This is like a also have kind of a thing. And the thing that I think
I'm gonna wait.
Okay,
I'm gonna argue a little different. So if you want to spend your way to status every year,
okay,
it's the every year thing is important, because the personal card, if you decide one year not to do it, it still gives you the free night certificate that's worth more than the annual fee. So, but if you're going to spend your way to status every year, and you don't have any Hyatt card yet, then you're trying to decide between the business or the personal. The business has a better welcome bonus, and it won't add to your Chase 524 count. That is, you won't be able to get it maybe if you already have more than 5 cards that you signed up for in the past 24 months. But if you get approved for it, it won't add to that count. So there's a reason why some people might prefer to get the business card.
Good point.
Again, if they're going to spend that much every year.
Well, and I think that highlights something that I didn't touch on really in the post at all. And in hindsight, I should have. And I don't think that necessarily you hammered this home either, is the fact that this is another 75,000 Hyatt points on the table that weren't on the table a week ago. So if you're somebody who mostly values the chance to redeem your Chase Ultimate Rewards points for Hyatt, well, great. Look at it as another 75K bonus. Yeah, this one costs a little bit more, but so it costs $100 more than what you would have expected it to cost as a co-branded card. But it's another 75,000 Hyatt points, well worth the $199 annual fee, even if you don't value much else at all about the card. So I think from that standpoint, it's worth it. It helps you keep 75,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards flexible for a little bit longer, because you won't have to transfer them over right away for your next Hyatt stay. So I think from that perspective, the card is like, okay, that's a reasonable bonus. It's much better than this garbage on the personal card of like 2 points per dollar on the first 15K spend. You already would have gotten 1 point per dollar. So it's like one extra point for 15K spend. It's like a ridiculous 45,000 point offer on the personal card. So it's better from that perspective.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Or good addition, I should say.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So then, question of the week. This week's question of the week is a question that I know you're going to give me I don't know. And I'm going to say, be Greg the Frequent Miler for a minute. Be Greg the Frequent Miler for a minute and try to do better than I would at answering the question. And then number 2, I'm going to tag onto it. Really, this is going to come with a request. This is going to be, and so the request is coming in a second. So
I'm disliking this already. So not only do I have to answer a question that I can't answer.
Right.
But then I have to do some kind of favor or something. I'm just going to leave now.
So one person after another has asked some variation on the MX Resi offer. Sounds great. The 15X small businesses, you guys have talked about it a lot, but how the heck do I know that my purchases are earning 15X at small businesses? How do I know which ones are which? Because it's really hard to tell, even if you know where to dig into the information. How do people know whether their purchase at the, this place or that place coded as a small business purchase, Craig? And when you tell me you don't know, the request is going to be, can you make a frequent miler spreadsheet for this? There must be a spreadsheet, right? That you can make to put your purchases in and figure it out, right?
Right. So the trick is to dig up. The first part of the trick is dig up Nick's post from the previous best platinum offer, which was the 10X offer, and where he talked about how to find that you're earning 9X, because you really are, but it's not obvious. So there's a way to see these like 9X bonuses in your account.
Which would be 14X bonuses on the Resi offer.
Which would be 14X with the Resi offer. Thank you. But it is hard to tie them to specific purchases. So you have to kind of divide the number by 14 and say, okay, do I have any purchases or set of purchases that add up to that number divided by 14? And then you can, you know, if you don't have that many purchases all the time, you probably can work that out. But if you have lots of purchases, it could get pretty complicated.
I bet it probably would get pretty complicated. But can't there be a spreadsheet for this? I mean, it wouldn't be perfect because you're right. If you have like a whole bunch of $100 purchases, you're not going to know which $100 purchase is which one. So that's not going to work. They're going to have to be different amounts in order for it to work. But or you're just going to see, okay, well, one of these or 6 of these 8 purchases earned the bonus, and you're not going to know which 2 didn't earn the bonus, I don't think.
Right.
But there should probably be able to or be a way to make a spreadsheet to at least narrow it down, right?
Yeah, I probably, although, the way I think I would approach it is on a day when I'm not like spending the card a lot on other things, like make a small purchase at whatever the place is that you're wondering about, if
That's
possible.
The simple solution, yeah.
And then wait and see if it showed up, and then say, oh, okay, now I'm going to go back and buy a car from them, instead of just the hubcap that I bought the other day at the car dealer.
Exactly. That's the simple solution. I agree. And I think if I were looking to spend 15,000 or 25,000 all in one shot, that's for sure what I would do. I want to know that that's the one and do it that way. But if you're just looking in general to find out whether this dry cleaner, coded as small business or that florist or whatever, it might start to get tedious if you don't want to make a bunch of really big purchases. You just want to know in general which ones are working, which ones are, that's kind of
There's
annoying.
just not a good way.
Yeah, there isn't, unfortunately. So sorry, all the people who've been asking. Seems like the answer is no.
And please, people, don't comment, that Amex has a website showing you all the small businesses. That website is, I guess it'll confirm. So if you find a small business on there, I think that'll make you pretty sure that you will get the 15X. But the lack of it being there means nothing.
No, it doesn't mean anything at all. Nothing at all.
There are so many purchases that code as small businesses that are not on Amex's small business website. So the website's not.
And it's too bad because I think a lot of people probably think, because from the volume of comments we get about that map, I think there must be a lot of people out there that think that map is it. And so I bet there are people that have missed the Resi offer because they're like, oh, well, these things around me don't code a small business.
Right.
And it is, like you said, it's logical, it's reasonable. You would think that map, oh, look, they've got a tool.
I think Amex even encourages people to look there for their small businesses. And so,
and if that's what you've been focusing on, then you've potentially been missing out because there are lots of other places that'll work.
Right. I mean, I've had big financial transactions code small business. So you just never know. You just never know.
There you go. All right. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time for today. So if you've enjoyed what we've been talking about and you'd like to get posts about all of these things in your inbox each day or each week, you can go to frequentmiler.com/subscribe to get on our email list. Again, that's frequentmiler.com/subscribe. You can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter, and we have a Frequent Miler Insiders Facebook group. Wherever you're listening or watching, hit like, hit subscribe, ding the notification bell, leave us a comment. We appreciate all of those things. It helps all of those algorithms out. So thank you very much. And we will be back again next week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.